For each ascendant and for each moon sign, there is a specific life path, which is why a person is born under those ascendants and moon signs. This life path will work regardless of the planetary positions, or more precisely, it is the blueprints which can be altered by the planetary positions, but not changed entirely. So, these blueprints can be used to predict. In fact, you can do an entire reading for a person based solely on the position of the ascendant or of the moon, and this reading will be 70% accurate regardless of what the planetary positions are in a person's chart. In fact, if you know your ascendant or your moon sign, then I'll give you a reading right now. Now, if the sign in question is your ascendant, then the reading will be about what is actually going on in your life, how your life looks, and how it unfolds. If it's the moon sign, then we're talking about how you yourself view your life and everything in it, but not necessarily how others perceive it. When it comes to Taurus ascendant and moon sign, one of the unique traits of the Taurus natives is their steadfastness. They are able to withstand a lot of pressure. They are very stable, and also stable in terms of their opinions. It's very hard to change their mind. Now, they are usually rather thickly built, but very strong. So it's not like they're just fat or something. It's usually what you would call wide boned, but with a lot of muscle. So again, Taurus ascendants are quite strong. When they set a course, they tend to follow it, and in fact, their life is rather stable and steady. It's slow progress, but it's progress nonetheless, and it's constant. And they don't tend to have too much upheavals in their lives compared to other signs. When it comes to their family, Taurus natives tend to be born into families that are very friendly, very united. The family tends to keep in touch with a lot of brothers, cousins, etc. And there's usually quite a bit of camaraderie between the family members. It's a very cohesive unit. They also value fun over, let's say, something too stable or too material. They prefer the intellectual achievement over the material one. Now, this might sound counterintuitive, but think about it for a second. If they already have the stability, then what they will value is more along the lines of friendship and fun, because that is what they're lacking due to that stability. Taurus natives tend to get emotionally attached to their friends and their siblings. They are very much caretakers of their immediate group and their friends, and they're also very considerate and philanthropical when it comes to those who are close to them. They like to nurture those who they consider friends. Taurus natives tend to have a very decorated and elaborate home, very luxurious surroundings when it comes to their comfort and their bed. They prefer a large bed, king size, queen size at the very least. The mother also tends to be of very high status and someone who has achieved a lot in their life. When it comes to children, there tends to be a degree of tension and sometimes even a frustration with Taurus natives and their children, and sometimes Taurus natives feel like the children are a burden to them. But at the same time, the children tend to be very disciplined and very methodical, so they tend to do well in life. When it comes to education, Taurus natives tend to gravitate towards fields like medicine, chemistry, or biology, with everything surrounding their ability to notice small details or to be methodical in their work. They can also be accountants or bankers because of their methodical nature and their ability to handle bureaucracy. They are rather good at handling responsibilities, but when it comes to their health, they are very affected by changes like in the seasons, in temperature, etc. And every environmental factor can affect them rather harshly if their immune system is somehow compromised. So they really need to take care of the stability of their surroundings, otherwise, well, it can hurt their health. The same goes for food too, because if they eat unhealthy food, it seriously hurts their immune system. They are also easily stressed by fights and disagreements, and when those come along, it is easy for them to get both hurt and physically weaker. And this is quite an unfortunate trait when you consider their choices in partnerships and relationships in general, because they tend to go for the unpredictable and unstable people for in most cases, and of course this causes quite a bit of tension. Now, this doesn't mean that they always are attracted to trouble, but usually the spouse or other significant relationship in their lives tend to be with people that are less emotionally stable, in fact, quite dramatically so. And this can be a problem for the rather sensitive Taurus. They're also rather gullible, so they should be very cautious when it comes to people who might try to take advantage of them. They should not trust others easily. Taurus natives tend to be quite pessimistic by their nature, and their belief system revolves around them being rather unlucky or undeserving sometimes. So, when it comes to their view of their place in the world, it's rather dark and unkind, actually. Taurus natives are among the best at being straight arrows. They do follow the rules and they're not the ones to cheat or to have dark secrets. This also tends to keep them clear of any occult or otherwise forbidden practices and from everything else that is considered taboo by the society. When it comes to their belief system, they are the people that will go to church on Sunday just because they are accustomed to it. They don't think too much about philosophy or about right and wrong. They just follow the rules and hope for the best, at least in most cases. They're also rather homely and prefer not to travel too much, especially if it's far away from home. In fact, when it comes to choosing a vacation destination, they are the ones that can choose to just stay at home and rest for a while. When it comes to their careers, they tend to gravitate towards large organizations, huge factories, huge companies, and just be a cog in the machine instead of trying to climb the corporate ladder. They usually are not too ambitious and prefer to achieve through hard work rather than through brute force and determination. They are not the competitive types. In fact, they prefer to cooperate rather than compete with others. They tend to have a very large circle of friends and acquaintances. They tend to know a lot of people, but at the same time, they are not too attached to those people, and basically, with so many people around them, easy comes, easy goes. They are not stable in terms of a circle of friends or something like that. It's more like whatever the flavor of the month is. They're also very tolerant in their views, even though they seem to be rather conservative. and they are very willing to accept others, even if those others don't seem to be anything like them. And while Taurus natives tend to be rather homely when compared to other signs, there is something to be said about their ability to immigrate and to make a life for themselves in other countries or in other environments. They're rather adaptable to the unknown because of their ability to withstand change and to handle tough assignments and hardships aplenty. They'll be the ones left standing when others will give up because they have the stamina for it. On the negative side, they're quite restless when it comes to letting go and relaxing, so it's hard for them sometimes to fall asleep or to just sit back and do nothing. They must be constantly working or constantly doing something so that their mind is at ease. Now for some general predictions. Around the age of 16 to around 20, Taurus natives can get into some kind of trouble or an accident that will change their worldview quite dramatically, and they also tend to get into a new social circle or meet a lot of new people for some reason. At around 21 or 22, they tend to move residence or acquire a new home. It can also be a new car or some other type of vehicle that they acquire at this age. Or they can also create a new family, get married, have children, settle down, something like that. Around the age of 22 to 23, they tend to get a new friend or they tend to meet someone who will form a very important relationship for them for the rest of their life, and they tend to acquire a new hobby. Around the age of 24, they should be rather careful about their health, but at the same time, they tend to find a workplace or some new position or some new routine change that is rather important for them and will improve their financial situation. Around the age of 24 or 25, they tend to find a new job or some promotion that allows them to improve their financial situation, but they should also be very careful about their health because it might suffer during those ages. They should also be cautious about fights and about any legal action that can be taken against them at this time. And this can also be a time where, if they are married early and the child does not support it, that they can get a divorce. Around the age of 28 to 30, Taurus natives tend to enter a long term relationship that can result in marriage. They can also form a business partnership at this time, and they can also either move to a foreign country or be isolated for some reason, such as hospitalization. They should be very careful about getting into accidents at this point in time. Between 32 and 35, Taurus natives tend to get an increase in their family, such as a child, and their financial situation can also improve. Around 35 or 36, Taurus natives tend to get a promotion or a career boost, and their life tends to go up from that point onwards in terms of their achievements and their success in the workplace. They might also travel abroad at this time, and this can lead to some change in their worldview. Around the age of 42 or 43, they tend to get another boost to their career or even a new workplace, which tends to be better than the previous one. They can also get some prize or recognition for their work so far. Around the age of 47, there might be a new partnership, or even a new relationship to those who are single at this point in time. I hope you found this information useful. If you want to learn more, please visit my website. And if you want to get a personal reading with far more details about yourself, then you are welcome to contact me on my Facebook page. You will find the links below. Thank you and good luck.